Hey, welcome back. Today I'm going to be going over the next few elections for the governor, Senate, and presidential elections. It's going to be a decently long video, at least 25 minutes probably, or it could be like 10, I don't really know. But let me just get right into it. Uh, 2024 is going to be a very, very, very tight year for the presidential race, and I'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, so let me just go through the margins first and how I characterize the states and their colors. California, the color on it right now is blue, and the shade of blue is means 15 points or more. That's safe blue. This means likely blue, 7 points or more. This means lean blue, 2 points or more, and this means tilt blue under 2 points. Obviously, we're going to categorize California as a very strong state for the Democrats, but just to just to explain why, how I categorized it. And yes, 15 points or more, 7 points or more, 2 points or more, and tilt, which is under 2 points. But yeah, Washington, Oregon, California, the entire West Coast has been strong for the Democrats for a while. So it's Hawaii. It's none of these things about to characterize are really going to surprise you. Uh, and the only thing that's remotely surprising for some people would be categorizing Colorado and New Mexico as going over 15 points for a generic Democrat in 2024. The reason I say that is because it's not 100% who's going to be nominated, because Joe Biden will probably not be in for 2 terms, but the whole, or at least run for a second term. I doubt he would win if he ran again, but yeah, he actually didn't win by that much if you consider how little he won Wisconsin, Georgia, and Arizona by. He really didn't win by that much. Now, with that said, I'm not taking sides at all. Trust me. Yeah, Democrats, Virginia. I do think they will take by a little bit under 15 points. At least, again, a generic Democrat. It depends on how Joe Biden does on the economy. Even if it's not him who's running, uh, whatever happens will be put on all Democrats. Same way when Bernie Sanders ran, he was seen as a socialist, and then a ton of Democrats were called socialists just for having remotely similar views. But yeah, I do think Maine and New Hampshire will lean pretty, not heavily, but pretty, not strong. It's hard to say why. I'm almost 100% sure that they will go to the Democrats, at least as of now, but they won't go by that much. They all went by likely margins, and I just see Biden doing a little bit worse. Or not, definitely not Biden again. Any Democrat doing a little bit worse than Biden did, because if you saw how he shifted the whole country, only a few states went to the right more than they did in 2016, and that is likely because of the pandemic. However, Joe Biden did manage to flip these 3 states: Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Now, I'm going to go through a whole explanation on why. You might want to skip a minute if you don't care. But if you notice, this is a 2024 Electoral College projected map, and some of the states have less electoral votes or more electoral votes than they did in 2020, 2020, no, I meant 2016, and 2012. And that is because every 10 years is a census, and based on the population results on each state, then some states will be reevaluated their electoral votes based on how many districts need to be in the state and how many uh, things need to be shown. It's a really complicated process, but let's just say basically the Northeast is losing people while the Sun Belt is gaining people, and that is why uh, at least the Rust Belt part of the Northeast country is moving towards the Republican Party, and the Sun Belt is moving towards the Democratic Party. Hence why Joe Biden carried Arizona and Georgia, and I expect him to carry. I expect a Democrat to carry both of those states by pretty or better margins than what was in 2020, and I guess for Georgia 2021 as well. Nebraska's second district, I see being also lean. Any state that went likely or that wasn't really expected to go likely, I see being a lean this time. Here's an interesting one. I do think Democrats will gain back a lot of the Hispanic support because the only time Democrats tend to lose Hispanic support is when a Republican is incumbent. And even then, it doesn't really lose. They don't really lose that much. Hence why Bush carried what Virginia, New Mexico, Nevada, Colorado, all decently uh, Democratic states now. Especially after Obama was elected. Now, I do think Florida, well, I am categorizing a lot of swing states right now, so I might as well say, I do think Florida will stay in the leading category for the Republicans. I think Iowa and Ohio will go by similar margins, as they did, pretty similar margins as they did in 2020 and 2016. I do think most of the most of the Midwest will go by pretty strong margins, some different than other ones, all around 15, or not all, but all the states I'm categorizing as likely right now: Montana, Kansas, Missouri, Mississippi, and Alaska, I do think will go by a little bit under 15 points. Alaska maybe less, and I do think South Carolina I will categorize alongside Florida, which is really weird. But that's because South Carolina is gaining a lot of population and trending towards the Democrats right now. Now with Illinois losing a ton of Democrats or people in general, I do see it going by under 15 points for the Democrats for the first time in a while, like a really long time. It goes by under 15 points. By a really long time, I mean like a decade or two. But I do see it going by like 14 points for wherever Democrat runs, just because I feel like the elections will be a lot more mainstreamed than this past one, and so more states will be generally going towards one area and not swinging a huge way between candidates. I do think Michigan will go by a very, very small margin towards the Democrats, but like I said, Democrats are moving out of the Rust Belt, and I do expect Wisconsin and Pennsylvania to flip towards the Democrats, or the Republicans, I meant, because Joe Biden flipped it probably just because of the coronavirus. And I do expect Republicans to narrowly carry out Texas. Now, the election after this is going to be extremely competitive and probably going to the Democrats in 2028 and 2026 Senate elections, maybe even governor. But as of now, Texas will probably go red in 2024. And if it does, it's going to be by a very small margin. But if it goes to the Democrats, it could go by over 2 points. We don't know how much it's going to shift towards the Democrats, but either way, it is going that way. North Carolina, a lot of people are saying it's going to go blue because it shifted to the left this election. I don't think it's going to. If Trump won it by like 3 points in 2016, and it still didn't even shift 3 points with everything going on, I don't think North Carolina is going to go blue. It's going to be very close either way. And while it could be closer again, I don't think it's going to flip at least. And Maine 2nd District, always pretty strong for the Republicans in the past few elections. So yeah, this is where I see a generic Democrat versus a generic Republican going against each other in 2024. Now, I did say we're going to be doing multiple elections. I got a whole account on here now. And let me know how you think I did on the redo of this. So now with these things, I have for the states that don't have any elections, I have a darker red or a darker blue. So for some reason, Kentucky has a Democratic governor, and I wanted the full governor map on here so I could always see the final results instead of just seeing how many we would win in that year. So yeah, governor, I'm gonna fill in all the safe governors for these states. I do think Wisconsin will keep its blue governor. I think Michigan will keep its blue governor. I think Pennsylvania will keep its blue governor. All these states pretty likely to keep their blue governor. Only if you actually, I do think Maryland will be a little bit under 15 points. Oh, wait, actually, I haven't been doing margins. I don't want to do margins on these just yet. I hope you understand that. I'm just going to be filling them in one color, and that's it. It'll be different on the Senate, but I haven't really studied governor elections that much, but I did get them correct. Kansas actually does have a blue governor right now. Yeah, like I said, along with Kentucky, along with North Carolina, along with Louisiana. But you gotta keep in mind, governor is not presidential or Senate. They're not completely representative. They just govern. Uh, so that's why I do think Republicans will flip the Kansas governor's seat. I think they will retain all of these seats that I just clicked in, including Florida. I think that they will keep Texas. I think they will keep Iowa and Ohio. And I do think they will keep Vermont. Only, yeah, for some reason, Vermont votes heavily towards Republican governors. I'm not 100% sure why. Actually, I think Massachusetts does too. Oh, this hurts my head. Why these states are these colors. But yeah, only time I see Vermont, no, I meant New Hampshire being competitive is if Chris Sununu runs in that state. While he could, he probably still wouldn't even win if the same Republican governor is running. Now, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, I see Arizona and Georgia flipping towards the Democrats as they're progressively moving towards that party anyway. And Larry Hogan is the incumbent governor in Maryland by a pretty hefty amount in his last few elections when he got elected. However, he's term limited. He cannot run again, and the reason I only see this flipping is because Larry Hogan cannot run for governor again, at least in Maryland. So yeah, Larry Hogan more than likely will not help out the Republican running for governor there. If he does, it's not like it matters, because Maryland's a Democratic state at heart. The only uh, person in control in this state that's a Republican is the governor, and that's because he's not too extremely Republican, and he still didn't even win by too much. I did say he did, but he didn't actually. Right now, I do think that this is how the governor elections are looking like for 2022, and 2022 Senate election maps. This one you'll notice the lock more. The reason I have some filled in already again is because they already there's no election for some of these states. So there's no election at all in Montana, meaning we keep that Democratic seat. There's no election at all in West Virginia, meaning we keep that Democratic seat. There's no election at all in Ohio. Oh, no, there is one in Ohio, but the one election in Ohio is just, I think, Pat Toomey or someone running. And these are Republican states at heart, so at least now. So I do think they'll go pretty strongly towards the Republicans running in 2022. I do think Maryland. Oh no, I meant Missouri, Kansas, and I don't know why I filled in Alabama. Probably, yeah, just Missouri, Kansas, Iowa, and Ohio will go likely, along with Marco Rubio probably running again if he doesn't run for president. Even if he does, it's in 2022. He doesn't know what he's going to do anyway at that time, probably. I know I'm rambling a lot. Just try and stay with me here. I do think Nevada tends to elect Democrats by pretty strong margins whenever they pick their own candidates, and that's what every state does for Senate. So it's pretty likely that whatever Democrat runs in Nevada will have a pretty strong pick. Nevada is very picky about Democrats running for presidential races, so that's because they don't 100% get to pick it because of the nomination system. But yeah, Colorado, I think, will underperform Biden from 2024. I don't think it'll be over 15 points. I think it'll be pretty likely, though. Arizona, I see going by a lean margin. Mark Kelly has to run again. Raphael Warnock has to run again here. Thank God it's Raphael Warnock for the Democrats because Jon Ossoff underperformed him pretty heavily. So I do see Georgia going blue again. I see Democrats retaining Hawaii, Vermont, New Hampshire with Jeanne Shaheen running here. I see her winning by less than she did. She won by over a safe margin. I see her winning by like 12 points, maybe 8 to 12 points. Obviously, Connecticut, Maryland, all all over 15 points. Not that hard. Like I said, with Illinois in the presidential race, it's pretty likely that Illinois will go under 15 points, but extremely close to 15 points. I do see Doug Ducey. I don't know why I immediately thought that. I see Tim Scott. Tim Scott's going to be running for re-election more than likely in South Carolina. I do see him winning by a lean margin. Utah, Idaho, North Dakota, South Dakota, all safe for the Republicans, over 15 points. North Carolina, again, is like Nevada. It likes what they pick for their main party that they usually pick. So I do see it voting with the Republicans. I also see Wisconsin voting with the Republicans. Now, hear me out here. The Republican running in Pennsylvania is not extremely favored of. I know Pennsylvania is going to be more than likely red in 2024, but I do expect the Democrats to carry out a narrow win here for to flip that one seat in Pennsylvania. I see only one seat flipping, which is actually really weird because I don't know if that's happened in a really long time. But yeah, if you count 36 no election Democrat holds and 15 elections in this time that they win, that gives them 51 seat majority. Kamala Harris will no longer have to be a part of that. So, or the tiebreak. Everyone knows that now. But now you see Republicans don't even have a chance, even if one Democrat flips towards their sides, like Joe Manchin. More than likely, it'll be a 50-50 tie if Joe Manchin moves with them, and then Harris will break it. So Democrats will have a generally strong hold for the Senate, at least for 2022 to 2024. Not 100% sure, but the 2024 Senate elections have not looked at them yet. But as of now, I do see Democrats holding out the next few wins in every possible race. Now, not every, I mean like every general type of race. Like governor, I see them having governor control. I see them having the majority of the Senate. I see them winning the presidential seat again. And I do see them holding the House if Nancy Pelosi is not incumbent then. Nancy Pelosi has really hurt the Democratic chances with the House, and I'm not a big fan of her. It all depends on her and how they redraw the districts for 2022, the next House elections. So yeah. Right now, I don't have the 2022 House map because it's not completely drawn yet. So I'm not going to be going over that. I just will say that I do expect them to win. Sorry, I haven't recorded a video in a while, so I stuttered a lot today. But generally, I do think Democrats will have a pretty good next 4 years, a tough 4 years, but good nonetheless. It's not looking very strong for them, but again, we'll see what happens. Republicans, for all I know, literally could easily flip or easily keep Pennsylvania. It's going to be the closest race, without any doubt in my mind. There could be a scandal in Arizona with Mark Kelly or Warnock. They could even both. If Warnock's allegations hold up for the next 2 years, he's more than likely going to get voted out, depending on the turnout. So yeah, and even if he is not voted out by them, he would, even if he resigns before and tries to keep the Democrats like a better person running. If you don't know, he has a ton of allegations against him. Warnock, there's a whole system, a whole thing you should look up. It's pretty interesting. Not say pretty interesting about wife beating. That's not very nice, but right now this is how I see it going. Thank you. I'm sorry for rambling.